Okay, so before I give up on this unit, the JVC S9600, I thought I'd connect my capture device to it and power it on and just see, do I see anything come through on the screen? And the no signal went away. We'll try to eject the tape. That'll take a little bit longer. GR standard, it's showing a tape is in it. Then it went green and powered off. Why did it go green? That's interesting. Power it back on. Try to load the tape. Just for the fun of it, I'll hit play. And it powers off. So according to the on-screen display, it's perfectly happy. Eject the tape out of it. And then that's it. So I want to go ahead and pull the drum assembly out of it right here. Oh, well, that might be why I didn't get video. I don't have the video heads actually connected from the last video. So I'm going to power this thing down, unplug the ribbon cable from the motor assembly, and now looking at a couple of videos from 12 Volt Vids Dave. There seems to be a dynamic drum emulator kit available. One of the commenters did suggest that. So this whole cylinder should just unplug and lift up like that. And then there is the dynamic drum assembly. So let me clear this out of the way, get this thing set down here. I want to go ahead and test the motor and see if the motor even tries to run. Because looking in the service manual, let me get my phone handy and I'll show you some of the error codes from the service manual. One moment. Okay, so I'm here at my computer looking for the emergency display function. This product has the function to store the last two previous emergency faults, which can be displayed in the FDP when servicing. How to display record of emergency fault. Put the unit into A mode by using the VCR remote controller. When in B mode, the preset controller codes are not accepted. Press the N button on the presetting units, and the two previous emergency faults will be shown on the FDP. Press the N button of the presetting unit again to return to normal mode. So I don't have the presetting unit. It's a special servicing remote control. But looking down here at some of these faults, let me scroll down just a hair. Okay, so there's detail of emergency faults. And I'm looking at, let's see, E08, which I'm not sure it is, but initialized action of the dynamic drum is not complete for less than 4 seconds. Should be for more, I think, but the detect mode is connect VCR to AC. Resulting mode is stop. It doesn't talk about powering off. So I'm not sure that's going to be it. But yeah, that's where I am. If somebody actually has a presetting remote, let me get back here. To the parts list. I thought I saw it on here somewhere. There it is, presetting unit. Let me zoom in on that. So it is a PTU 94008. If somebody has one and they want to get rid of it, I would love to have it just to check the error codes on this unit to get headed in the correct direction. Okay, back to the dynamic drum situation. Okay, so I just want to get an ohm meter and do an ohm check on the motor itself. Hopefully you can actually see that. And not really good. Let's prop a screwdriver underneath the bottom of it. Okay, so I'm in the ohm range. So even if I just touch my fingers on it, I'm in the 3.6 megohm range. And looking at the motor, it looks like it just connects to these first two pins. So I just want to do an ohm check, and it's open. That could be the whole problem. Make sure I'm on the lead. And yes, I am. Make sure the other one is good as well. Yes. So the motor is open. It cannot initialize the drum. So I'm wondering if I disassemble this thing and just take out some of the broken gears and leave whatever triggers these two opto isolators right here. Would it be happy just to jog this thing forward and backwards, not actually move the cylinder forward or backwards at all? I'm going to try it. Hopefully I can get the motor working once again. So I think what I'm going to do is just unsolder these two leads that actually go to the motor right there. And then I think I can pick up the circuit board, and then we can maybe get the motor out of there and try to service it. Let me get the soldering iron warmed up. I'll be right back. One moment. Why do they have to bend them over? Makes no sense, but okay. Let's see if we can get the circuit board to release peacefully. Okay, well there is the circuit board out. There's the two opto sensors. I may have called them opto isolators by mistake. They're infrared photo receiver packages that just make sure that there's rotation. Notice the different color of the circuit board. They've been driving these things very hard. Look at how dark this part of the circuit board is compared to the rest. Maybe it's just me. Let me know in the comments. So we need to figure out how to get this motor out of here. So there's one of the flags that rotates around as this motor does turn like that. Man, I don't want to take this thing completely down to a kit. If I could just get the motor out. How do they manufacture this? I don't really want to get it out of time if I can possibly avoid it. That feels perfectly fine. Oh, is that possible? It's just held in with these tabs. Let me find another small screwdriver. And hopefully you can see this. I'm going to gently pry up on this gear while pressing back, I should say, words, right there. And then gently pry up on this side while pressing back right there to get this drive shaft completely out of there like that. And I want to maintain orientation, so I'm going to keep it in the same orientation as the unit. Now, hopefully, I can pick this motor up or pry the motor up, possibly. Hoping it just snaps into place without breaking too much. Kind of like that. That would be fine. And it looks like I didn't break anything. There's no indexing pins that go into the front of the motor. So I'm going to hook this up to a power supply and just try to run it, because I hopefully these things didn't jump out of time. And let's see what happens. One moment. Okay, so here is the motor in question. I do have my power supply set for 4.5 volts with current limiting set at 500 milliamps. So I'm just going to connect it to one lead and the other. It might actually run now because it's been moving around. But yes, it is actually running. And can't even pull any current. Oh, there's a dead spot. So I'm just going to let this run for a few minutes, and it's going to clean the commutator and the, I'll use finger quotes here, brushes, because I'm sure there's no actual brushes in this thing. But there's a possibility that by just sitting for years and years, the commutator became oxidized, you know, humidity, contaminants in the air, global warming, all that stuff. And if the brush couldn't contact the commutator, it would read open like I read with the ohm meter. So I'm going to let this run for probably 5 or 10 minutes. Halfway through, I'll reverse the direction and I'll put this thing back together and see if we get any kind of different results. Hopefully, yes. So I'll be back. One moment. And I do want to exercise the commutator by bringing this out to try to cut a new surface if possible. That'll help clean the quote brushes. Okay, so it's been running for a little over 10 minutes now. I've reversed direction a couple of times. So I went ahead and printed out this page for the service manual, the dynamic drum motor. It just goes straight through to the system control board, it says, I do believe. And so I did print out, it's very, very large. Let me zoom off just a tad. There's where it connects to the board. A output driver IC right there, TA7291S, it looks like. So it should drive the motor directly. So, like I said, this thing's been sitting here running for probably 15 minutes. I reversed it a couple of times. I did oil the bushing, and now when I stall it, it doesn't feel like it has any dead spots. No matter where I release it, it takes off every single time now. So I'm going to throw this thing back in and see what happens. One moment. All right, so regardless of what happens, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a death sentence to this unit just because of the issues that it's having. So I have no idea if the timing is correct in orientation to these this half shaft that goes in here and the timing of the other gears, but they should just snap right into place just like that. Move this around and make sure the shaft does turn, and yes it does, but the gear is broken, so that's not going to be good. So, doggone it. Well, maybe we'll get some movement out of it, enough to trigger something to happen. I don't know. But we'll throw this thing back together and give it a try. One moment. Okay, as good as used. Okay, so let's try to get the ohm meter in view here and just do a quick ohm check of the motor. Get this thing propped up so you can actually see it. It did time out. And so I'm expecting to see just a few ohms. And I see 35.9 ohms. That's perfectly fine. Well, okay, let's throw it back together. Okay, so I'm going to leave the head amp unplugged because if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I will connect the output to the video capture device so that we can see if we get any kind of a change whatsoever. I mean, I know it's not going to move that gear right there that you can just barely see the teeth of. Cylinder does spin freely. All right, let's apply power and see what happens. If I can get it plugged in. Okay, here we go, power on. And I thought I heard something move down here. Thought I heard an initialization pulse, maybe. All right, so power on. And it is actually staying on. All right, capture device recording in 3, 2, 1, capture. And it shows it is recording. Well, let's pop a tape into it and see what it has to say. Where'd the tape? There it is. So it is staying powered up. That's a good sign. And it is playing, but it has no video signal. Let me plug the heads back in. Stop. Power off. Let me find my little tiny... Oh, those aren't the ones I want. That would not be helpful in plugging in the heads. So, let's back this up just a tad. Move this out of the way. Once again, power has been removed. And trying to do it without getting my head in the way here. Okay, video heads have been reconnected. Connect the cylinder motor. Power on. Hopefully we get some kind of a display. Okay, power button has been depressed. And I do notice that now I do have a... Oh, auto magical focus, fail. I do have a digital time-based corrector light, although it's very hard to see, but it is on. So, there we go. Let's hit play. Capture device is still recording, and look at that, it's actually playing. Pause looks fine. Why is there sound? That's weird. Play. That looks fine. So that is the 2-hour playback, I do believe. Yes, 2 hour. I wonder if I have a SLP tape somewhere. God, I haven't worked on VCRs in so long. Eject. Okay, this might be an SLP tape. I'm not sure. And I think it is. And look at that. It looks perfectly fine. I did the auto tracking. Everything's great. Fast forward, or fast search. It's playing, why is it playing some random sound? Okay, well, it's working in SP and SLP. So I'm going to ask my customer if he wants to proceed with the dynamic drum emulator, if I actually find one somewhere. But yeah, it's actually playing back pretty doggone good. Looks like the head switching pulse might be off just a hair at the bottom of the picture, but I'm not going to worry about that at this moment. I'm sure this customer just wants to be able to play tapes back on this unit, and I'm going to say this is a win. I did figure out that yes, it was the dynamic drum system that was a problem. The motor commutator was not making a connection, but obviously it only needs to move it to be happy. And I know it's not moving that little gear that you see right down there. It can't. There's no way, because that worm gear on the main shaft is cracked in half, so it's not going to play, or it's not going to move the gear. So interestingly enough, the dynamic drum was the problem in this unit, and the video is still up on the screen. Hopefully it doesn't get a copyright strike. And oops, a contaminated part of the tape just went through. That's not good. That's funny. Did it clog the heads? And yes, it did clog the heads. Let me just wipe them off with my fingernail. Remove the video and reapply the video. Sometimes that does do something. Yep, there we go. Okay, well there it is. It's up and running, hopefully saved out of the recycle bin. I certainly... Go ahead and leave me a question, a comment, a concern down below, good or bad. I try to respond to the comments when I have time. While you're down there, if you could, please hit that subscribe button and like this video. It does help my channel grow. You can follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X at NorCal715. You can email me norcal715videos at gmail.com. If you want to contact me, it's late July 2025. Just leave me a comment in one of the videos. That's the best way to contact me. Everyone have a great day. Thanks for watching. Another one possibly saved from the recycle bin. Everyone have a great day. And once again, thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye. Okay, recording, audio sync. Okay, so here is the motor in question. I wonder if I can push the zoom in just a hair farther. Well, yes. Yes, I can. Wow. That should be good. All right, let's take that over. I certainly enjoy